Welcome to Bookkast, the podcast that gives you bestsellers in minutes.
Bestsellers in minutes.
And today we're diving into Ina Garten's memoir.
Oh.
Be ready when the luck happens. Now, you probably know her as the Barefoot Contessa from her show. But her story isn't just about recipes.
Yeah.
It's really about taking risks, finding yourself, and creating a life you love.
Yeah, and what's so compelling is how relatable her journey is. You know, it's not a straight line to success at all.
Yeah.
She starts with a childhood that many people might find surprising.
Right. It wasn't this gourmet wonderland you might imagine.
Exactly.
She describes her home life as pretty restrictive.
Absolutely. A disciplined, almost flavorless diet.
Wow.
She even mentions margarine being the only fat allowed.
Really?
Imagine growing up in a world without butter.
It's hard to imagine.
You know, it's fascinating how these seemingly small details really had a profound impact on her.
Yeah, it really makes you think about like how much our early experiences shape our desires.
Yeah.
You know, this early experience seems to have fueled her desire for flavor, for experiences. It's like a seed was planted that was just waiting for the right environment to bloom.
And that environment appears when she meets Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Their first date is almost a scene from a romantic comedy. A case of mistaken identity at a bar because Ina didn't even know what an ID was.
I love that story.
Isn't that great?
It really highlights just the differences in their backgrounds. You know,
Yeah.
Jeffrey comes from this adventurous family.
Right.
And particularly his father, Colonel Melvin Garten, who sounds like a character straight out of a movie.
He does, doesn't he?
And Jeffrey himself is just this incredibly supportive figure. You know, encouraging Ina to kind of push her boundaries and explore her passions.
Absolutely.
He even had a hand in changing her father's opinion of her thanks to his ROTC scholarship.
Oh, wow. That's interesting.
Yeah. It's amazing how Jeffrey saw her potential even when her own family seemed hesitant.
Yeah.
It speaks volumes about their relationship and how they complement each other.
Absolutely.
And speaking of adventure, their honeymoon wasn't exactly typical, was it?
Not at all.
A European camping trip
Oh, my goodness.
over a relaxing beach getaway.
Yeah,
It's a testament to their shared sense of adventure.
for sure.
Sleeping in a tiny orange tent, driving a Rover packed to the brim,
Wow.
and discovering this culinary landscape of Europe.
I can't even imagine.
It's a far cry from the perfectly curated world we see on her show today.
But this trip, particularly their time in France, was a turning point for Ina.
Yeah.
She describes it as a true aha moment.
Yeah, it was like she was finally exposed to this world of flavor she'd been craving since childhood.
Right.
The quality and variety of ingredients, the simplicity of the dishes, and the overall joy surrounding food. It was a revelation for her.
Remember, this is the 1970s.
Right.
American supermarkets were nothing like they are today.
I can't even imagine.
So to suddenly experience this abundance of fresh produce, cheeses, and breads, it must have been incredible.
It makes you want to hop on a plane right now and experience it for yourself.
Me too.
That sense of discovery, the new flavors,
Yeah,
the pure enjoyment of food, it's contagious.
it really is.
But eventually they had to return to the U.S.,
Right.
settling in Washington, D.C., where Ina found herself in a government job.
Okay.
And let's just say it wasn't exactly fulfilling her creative spirit.
It sounds like she craved a more hands-on, immediate connection with her work.
Yeah, and a bureaucratic role just couldn't offer that.
Right.
So it's interesting to see her going through this period of exploration, you know,
Yeah.
trying out different jobs, searching for that spark.
Uh-huh.
And she really did try a bit of everything.
Oh, she did.
From working in a clothing store to a very short-lived stint at, well, let's just say, a rather unique establishment.
What was it?
She even spent time as a receptionist playing chess all day long.
Wow, that's amazing.
It's a reminder that sometimes you have to try different things to figure out what truly resonates with you.
I agree with that.
These experiences, while seemingly random, really solidified her desire for a career she was passionate about.
Absolutely.
And that brings us to the birth of Barefoot Contessa.
Okay.
This is where things get really exciting.
Yeah, I'm ready.
It all started with a newspaper ad for a specialty food store for sale in the Hamptons.
Wow.
Can you imagine? Ina, with zero experience in the food business,
Right.
makes the impulsive decision to buy it.
Really?
It's a testament to her willingness to just take risks.
That's amazing.
Talk about a leap of faith.
Yeah.
And her parents weren't exactly thrilled, were they?
What did they think?
They offered to send her to architecture school instead.
Oh my gosh.
So she's 30 years old,
Okay.
leaving behind her life in Washington, D.C.,
Uh-huh.
and jumping headfirst into this unknown.
Wow.
And her first weekend at the store Let's just say it was a baptism by fire.
What happened?
The store was absolutely mobbed.
Oh, no.
They ran out of food.
Oh, my gosh.
She was learning to bake on the fly, and she quickly realized just how much hard work was involved.
Wow.
There's a story about Jeffrey having to buy out an entire bakery multiple times
Wow.
just to keep up with the demand.
That's incredible.
It really captures the frenzy of that first summer.
It does.
But amidst all the chaos, there's this sense of exhilaration.
Mm.
Ina thrives on a challenge,
Yeah.
proving that sometimes the most rewarding paths are the ones we least expect.
Absolutely.
Now, running a business is one thing,
Right.
but juggling a marriage at the same time adds another layer of complexity.
It does.
They had to navigate these traditional roles,
Right.
especially with Ina being the one who's constantly at the store.
Uh-huh.
There's this tension between her newfound independence
Yeah.
and the expectations of a conventional marriage.
Right.
It's something that so many couples can relate to,
I agree.
but their dynamic evolves,
Okay.
leading to an even stronger partnership.
How so?
They adjust, they communicate, and they figure out a new balance.
That's great.
It's a great example of how relationships can grow and adapt when faced with major life changes.
Absolutely.
So Barefoot Contessa's up and running.
Mm.
Ina's learning the ropes,
Yeah.
dealing with all sorts of eccentric customers.
I bet.
She even tells a story about catering a party for a drug dealer.
Wow.
It's moments like that that add so much color and personality to her story.
I bet.
It highlights these unexpected encounters and unique characters that came with running a business in the Hamptons.
Right.
But it wasn't all smooth sailing, was it?
Oh, no.
She opens up about her struggles with self-doubt,
Okay.
the lasting impact of her childhood, and her decision not to have children. These are such deeply personal reflections that add a layer of vulnerability to her story.
They do.
It's a reminder that even those who seem to have it all still face their own internal struggles.
I agree with that.
She even talks about her therapist, Cecily,
Okay.
and how she helped Ina find her voice and overcome her insecurities.
That's cool.
It's a powerful message about the importance of seeking help and working through personal challenges.
Absolutely. It normalizes seeking help.
Yeah.
And it shows that it can be such a crucial part of personal growth.
Right. But it's not all introspection.
Okay.
Beyond the kitchen, she discovers this passion for gardening, renovating houses, and creating beautiful spaces.
I love that.
It's as if her creative energy just couldn't be contained.
That's a great observation.
It highlights how her creativity extends beyond just food.
Mhm.
There's this desire to cultivate beauty and comfort in every aspect of her life.
Yeah, and then comes the launch of her cookbook career.
It's amazing how meticulously she approaches cookbook writing,
What do you mean?
focusing on user experience, clear instructions, and of course, delicious results.
She mentions the secret test for deciding whether a dish is worthy of inclusion in her books.
Really?
She asks herself, would someone get out of bed, get dressed, drive to town, find a parking space, and walk to the store just to buy this?
Wow, that's setting the bar pretty high.
It is.
What do you think makes a dish pass that test?
Well, I think it's a combination of factors. Of
Mhm.
course, flavor is paramount,
Right.
but it also speaks to the overall experience.
Okay.
Does the dish evoke a certain feeling? Does it offer a sense of comfort or indulgence? Does it transport you to a different place or time?
It's about creating a craving, this irresistible desire that goes beyond just satisfying your hunger.
Exactly.
It's about triggering an emotional response through food.
Yes, and Ina seems to have mastered that art.
Yeah.
She understands that cooking is about more than just following a recipe.
Yeah.
It's about creating an experience, a memory, a connection.
That's fascinating.
And it really shines through in her cookbooks.
Uh-huh.
They feel less like instructional manuals and more like invitations.
Right.
To join her in the kitchen, to share in her passion for food and good company.
And let's not forget her insistence on using real, unstyled food in her photographs.
Right.
This was a departure from the overly stylized food photography that was so prevalent at the time. It was a bold move, but it paid off.
It did.
It made her cookbooks feel more accessible, more relatable.
Yeah.
It was like saying, look, this is what real cooking looks like.
Right.
It doesn't have to be perfect. It's about the process, the enjoyment, the shared experience.
It's another example of her commitment to authenticity, to showing the beauty in imperfection.
Right.
And it resonated with readers.
It did.
Her cookbooks became instant bestsellers, establishing her as a trusted voice in the culinary world.
Yeah. But her journey to publishing wasn't without its hurdles.
I bet.
She had to learn to navigate this world of publishing,
Uh-huh.
stand up for her vision,
Yeah.
and find the right team to bring her ideas to life.
Remember that story about the initial layout of her first cookbook?
The first 40 pages were all about someone else's interpretation of Barefoot Contessa,
Oh my goodness.
with no photos of the store,
Oh, wow.
her or her food.
That's crazy.
It's a great example of how even someone with her talent and vision had to fight to be heard.
She didn't back down, though.
She didn't. She pushed for changes,
Good for her.
insisted on representing her authentic voice,
Yeah.
and ultimately ensured that the book reflected her vision.
That takes courage and conviction.
It does.
Especially when you're relatively new to an industry.
Right.
It shows that she wasn't willing to compromise her integrity for the sake of quick success.
And her persistence paid off.
It did.
The Barefoot Contessa cookbook became a bestseller, launching a series that continues to this day.
Wow.
It's a testament to the power of staying true to yourself, even when faced with resistance.
Absolutely.
It's also a great reminder that success often involves overcoming obstacles and fighting for what you believe in.
It does.
Absolutely. And speaking of overcoming obstacles, Ina also had to navigate personal challenges during this time.
Okay, like what?
She candidly discusses her decision not to have children,
Mm-hmm.
a choice that was rooted in her own difficult childhood.
Right.
It's a deeply personal reflection that adds another layer of complexity to her story. She also talks about her ongoing struggles with self-doubt,
Okay.
the lingering effects of her parents' critical voices,
Yeah.
and her journey to finding her own voice and embracing her authentic self.
Right.
It's a reminder that success isn't just about external achievements.
Mm-hmm.
It's also about internal growth and self-acceptance.
Absolutely. And then there's her love for Paris.
Yeah,
This seems to be a recurring theme throughout her life.
it is.
It's more than just a city for her, you know.
Yeah.
It's a source of inspiration,
Mm,
a refuge,
yeah.
a place where she can truly be herself.
And the story of their Paris apartment renovation is a whole other adventure.
Oh, I bet.
Transforming that space was a true labor of love, a testament to her determination, her meticulous attention to detail,
Wow.
and her unique sense of style.
Remember those pink and gray Formica countertops?
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to believe such a thing could exist in a Parisian apartment.
I know. It's amazing how she can transform even the most unpromising spaces into these havens of elegance and warmth.
It's a talent for sure, but it also speaks to her resourcefulness. Her ability to see potential where others might not.
And the apartment itself becomes a symbol of their shared journey,
Uh-huh.
a place where they can escape, reconnect, and savor the simple pleasures of life.
It's a beautiful image.
And speaking of building Ina's journey doesn't stop there.
Okay.
She goes on to open a second Barefoot Contessa location, taking over the former Dean and DeLuca space in East Hampton.
Wow. Taking over the former Dean and DeLuca space? That's a bold move.
It is, but you were already running a successful store.
Right.
What made you decide to expand?
Well, I think it was a combination of factors. There was the opportunity itself, of course.
Yeah.
That space was prime real estate and it held a certain prestige.
Right.
But it was also about pushing my boundaries,
Okay.
about testing my limits.
And all of this while still flying back and forth to Tokyo to be with Jeffrey.
Oh, wow.
How did you manage to juggle 2 stores, a long-distance relationship, and still maintain your sanity?
Well, it wasn't easy. It required a lot of organization, delegation, and a healthy dose of trust.
Right.
I had to learn to let go of some control, to empower my team, and to believe that they could maintain the quality and consistency that Barefoot Contessa was known for.
It's a valuable lesson for anyone in a leadership position.
Absolutely.
It's about finding the right people, giving them the tools they need to succeed, and then trusting them to do their job.
Exactly.
And amidst all of this, she still found time to nurture her creative passions.
That's great.
She writes about her growing interest in gardening,
Yeah.
her love of renovating houses,
Uh-huh.
and her knack for creating beautiful spaces.
That's like her creative energy couldn't be contained to just the kitchen.
Right. She had to find outlets for it in every aspect of her life.
Absolutely. And this is where her love for Paris truly blossoms.
Yeah.
Remember that stunning apartment she renovated?
Uh-huh.
It wasn't just a pied-à-terre.
Right.
It was a labor of love,
Yeah.
a reflection of her personal style,
Mm-hmm.
and a symbol of their shared journey.
The renovation itself was a grand adventure filled with unexpected challenges and hilarious mishaps.
What happened?
She even had to learn how to haggle with Parisian antique dealers
Really?
and decipher the complexities of French construction terminology.
Oh my gosh.
But she did it all with her characteristic grace and determination, transforming this rabbit warren of rooms into a haven of elegance and warmth,
Wow.
complete with a breathtaking view of the Eiffel Tower.
That's amazing.
But it wasn't just about creating a beautiful space.
Right.
It was about building a life,
Yeah.
about nurturing their relationship amidst the demands of their careers.
Absolutely. The apartment became a symbol of their commitment to each other, a place where they could escape, reconnect,
Yeah,
and savor those simple pleasures of good food,
right.
good company, and a slower pace of life.
It's like a physical manifestation of their love and commitment to each other,
It is.
built brick by brick, detail by
that.
detail.
That's beautiful. And speaking of good food, that seems like a good place to pause for now.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive into Ina Garten's life and career.
We've seen her journey from a childhood craving for flavor to becoming this successful businesswoman and culinary icon.
Right.
We've witnessed her leaps of faith,
Uh-huh.
her resilience in the face of challenges, and her unwavering commitment to authenticity.
And we've only just scratched the surface.
Really?
In the next part of our deep dive, we'll explore her culinary philosophy in more detail,
Okay.
delve into the challenges of expanding her business,
Yeah,
and uncover the lessons she learned along the way.
I'm excited for that.
Stay tuned for more insights from Ina Garten's. Be ready when the luck happens.
Okay.
You've been listening to Bookkast,
Bestsellers in minutes.
where we bring you bestsellers in minutes. We'll be right back after a short break.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Ina Garten's Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
Now, we left off talking about Ina's growing success and her expansion into that second Barefoot Contessa location.
Yeah, it's amazing to think how far she'd come from that first chaotic weekend at the original store.
Right.
Now she's juggling 2 locations, a burgeoning cookbook career, and a television show in the works.
It's a whirlwind of activity.
Yeah.
But through it all, she never loses sight of what's important to her,
Yeah.
her commitment to quality,
Mhm.
her relationships, and her personal passions.
Let's talk about her culinary philosophy for a moment.
Okay.
She touches on it throughout the memoir, but I'm curious to hear your take on what makes her approach to food so appealing.
I think it's a combination of factors.
Okay.
First and foremost, she prioritizes flavor.
Uh-huh.
She's not afraid to use buttercream or any other ingredient that enhances the taste of a dish,
Right.
but it's not about excess.
Right.
It's about balance.
That makes sense.
Right.
She often talks about finding that perfect balance of sweet and salty, acidity and richness.
It's like she's composing a symphony of flavors on the palate.
Exactly.
Right.
She also emphasizes the importance of using fresh, high-quality ingredients.
Right.
She believes that the foundation of a good dish lies in the quality of its components.
Which is probably why she's so passionate about local farmers markets and sourcing ingredients from trusted suppliers.
Yeah.
She understands that you can't create something truly delicious without starting with the best possible ingredients.
And let's not forget her emphasis on simplicity.
Right.
Her recipes aren't overly complicated or fussy.
Yeah.
She focuses on techniques that are really accessible to home cooks,
Right?
highlighting the inherent flavors of the ingredients themselves.
It's that effortless elegance that she's become known for.
Right.
Creating dishes that are both impressive and achievable without sacrificing taste or presentation.
Speaking of presentation, let's not forget her signature style.
Right. Her dishes are always so visually appealing.
They are.
The focus on fresh herbs, vibrant colors,
Right.
and these simple yet elegant arrangements.
It's like she understands that food should be a feast for the eyes as well as the stomach. She wants you to savor every aspect of the experience.
Yeah.
From the moment you see the dish to the last bite.
Absolutely. And it all ties back to her overall philosophy of entertaining.
Right.
She believes that good food and good company go hand in hand.
Yeah.
And she wants to create this atmosphere where people feel comfortable, relaxed, and able to enjoy themselves.
It's about creating a sense of warmth and hospitality.
Yeah.
About sharing your passion for food
Ah.
and making your guests feel special.
And she doesn't shy away from the challenges of entertaining.
No, she doesn't.
And she offers practical advice on everything.
Like what?
From planning menus to setting the table to dealing with those unexpected mishaps.
I love that she doesn't pretend that everything is always perfect.
Me too.
She's honest about the fact that things can go wrong.
Yeah.
And she shares tips on how to handle those situations with grace and humor.
It's refreshing. It makes her seem more human, more relatable.
Absolutely.
She's not just a culinary goddess dispensing wisdom from her perfectly curated kitchen.
Right.
She's a real person who understands the realities of hosting and entertaining.
Speaking of real-life challenges, Ina also opens up about some of the difficulties she faced as her business grew.
Right, the expansion to that second store wasn't without its hurdles.
Right. She talks about the logistical challenges of managing 2 locations,
Huh?
the pressure to maintain consistency across both stores,
Right.
and the difficulties of finding and training qualified staff.
Sounds like a crash course in business management.
It does.
How did she handle all of those challenges? Did she have any prior experience in running a large operation?
Not really.
So she had to learn on the job.
I drew on my intuition, my organizational skills, and my ability to delegate.
And of course, all of this is happening while she's still navigating a long-distance relationship with Jeffrey,
No.
who's working in Tokyo at the time.
It's a testament to her resilience and her ability to compartmentalize.
It really is. It's also a testament to the strength of their partnership.
Yeah.
They both understood the importance of supporting each other's ambitions, even if it meant making sacrifices along the way.
It's a delicate balance.
It is.
You know, finding that equilibrium between personal and professional fulfillment,
Right.
between individual aspirations and the needs of a relationship.
And it's something that many couples struggle with.
They do.
Ina and Jeffrey's story offers a glimpse into how to navigate those complexities with honesty, communication, and a shared sense of purpose.
It's inspiring to see how they manage to stay connected and supportive of each other, despite the geographical distance and the demands of their respective careers.
Right, and it speaks to the importance of having a strong foundation of trust and mutual respect.
Absolutely. Now, amidst all of this business expansion and long-distance relationship management,
Right.
Ina's cookbook career is also taking off.
She's published several successful books by this point,
Yeah.
and she's starting to gain recognition as a culinary authority.
And it's fascinating to see how she approaches recipe development.
Yeah, she's not just throwing ingredients together.
No, she's not.
She's thinking about the overall experience,
Mm-hmm.
the story behind the dish,
Right.
the emotions she wants to evoke.
She talks about the importance of creating dishes that are both delicious and memorable.
Right, recipes that people will want to return to again and again.
Exactly. And she has this incredible ability to anticipate what home cooks are looking for.
Yeah.
You know, she understands the need for recipes that are approachable, reliable,
Right.
and consistently delicious.
She also emphasizes the importance of using readily available ingredients.
Right.
You know, she doesn't want her readers to feel intimidated by complex techniques or obscure ingredients.
Right.
She wants cooking to be enjoyable, not stressful.
It's that accessibility that makes her so appealing.
Yeah.
She's not trying to be a culinary showman dazzling us with complicated techniques and fancy ingredients.
Right.
She's inviting us into her kitchen, sharing her passion for food,
Yeah.
and encouraging us to find joy in the process.
And it works.
It does.
Her recipes have become staples in kitchens all around the world.
They have.
She's managed to create this culinary empire that's built on simplicity, authenticity, and a genuine love of good food.
And she doesn't shy away from sharing her personal experiences and challenges along the way.
Right.
She's open about her struggles with self-doubt, the impact of her childhood,
Yeah.
and the lessons she's learned about finding balance and staying true to herself.
It's that vulnerability that makes her so relatable.
It does.
She's not afraid to show us her imperfections,
Uh-huh.
her moments of doubt,
Yeah.
her struggles to find her place in the world.
Right. It makes her success all the more inspiring.
Absolutely. And as her career continues to evolve,
Uh-huh.
she faces even more challenges.
Like what?
From navigating the cutthroat world of television
Right.
to dealing with difficult business partners.
But she always manages to find a way to persevere,
Yeah.
to learn from her experiences,
Right.
and to come out stronger on the other side.
It's a testament to her resilience and her unwavering determination to pursue her passions
Yeah.
and create a life that's both fulfilling and meaningful.
And it's a reminder that success isn't a destination.
No, it's not.
It's a journey
Uh-huh.
filled with its ups and downs, twists and turns.
Right.
But it's those challenges that we overcome along the way
Yeah.
that make the journey worthwhile.
It's that journey, that constant evolution that makes Ina Garten's story so compelling.
Absolutely. And we'll delve deeper into those later chapters in the next part of our deep dive.
Okay.
We'll explore her experiences in the world of television, her reflections on aging and contentment,
Right.
and the enduring power of her partnership with Jeffrey.
Stay tuned for the final part of our bookcast, deep dive into Be Ready When the Luck Happens, where we'll uncover even more insights and inspiration from Ina Garten's remarkable life and career. We'll be back after a short break. Welcome back to Bookkast, where we bring you bestsellers in minutes.
Bestsellers in minutes.
We're wrapping up our deep dive into Ina Garten's memoir, Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
Okay.
And I'm so excited to dig into the final chapters of her story.
Me too. We've witnessed her incredible journey from a childhood yearning for flavor to becoming a culinary icon.
Right.
But there's still so much to explore.
We left off discussing the challenges of expanding her business and navigating that long-distance relationship.
Right.
But there's another big adventure on the horizon.
Okay.
Her foray into the world of television.
Oh, yeah. And it wasn't an easy decision for her.
Right.
You know, she initially resisted the idea,
Yeah.
preferring the quiet control of her own kitchen to the chaos of a television set.
I can imagine that she was used to doing things her own way at her own pace. And suddenly, she's thrust into this fast-paced, high-pressure environment with a crew of 50 people.
Yeah. What made her finally take the plunge?
I think it was a combination of factors.
Okay.
There was the challenge itself, of course.
Huh.
You know, she's never been one to shy away from pushing her boundaries.
Right.
But there was also this desire to share her passion for food and entertaining with a wider audience.
And she wanted to do it on her own terms.
On her own terms.
Remember that story about the cheddar and chutney tea sandwiches?
Oh, yeah.
The director was horrified when she actually chewed on camera,
Oh, no.
telling her, "You can't talk with your mouth full."
And her response.
But it's delicious.
Classic Ina.
Classic Ina.
It perfectly captures her down-to-earth personality and her commitment to authenticity.
Absolutely.
She wasn't going to pretend to be someone she wasn't, even for the sake of television etiquette.
Right. And it's that authenticity that resonated with viewers.
Yeah.
She wasn't just a chef on a screen. She
Oh.
was a friend,
Yeah.
sharing her love of food.
And inviting us into her world.
And that warmth and that genuine personality translated into incredible success.
Absolutely.
Her show became this beloved, staple-inspiring home cooks all over the world.
It did, but it wasn't always smooth sailing.
Right.
She talks about the challenges of adapting to the television format, the pressure to produce new and exciting content,
Right.
and the constant scrutiny that comes with being in the public eye.
She had to find a way to balance her creative vision
Right.
with the demands of a television production to stay true to herself while also catering to the expectations of her audience.
And she did it with grace and humor,
Yeah.
always managing to inject her own personality into the show.
Now, while all of this is happening, she's also grappling with some more personal challenges.
Right. She opens up about the emotional impact of her childhood, her decision not to have children,
Right.
and her ongoing struggles with self-doubt.
These are such deeply personal topics.
They are.
And it takes a lot of courage to share them so openly.
It does.
What do you think motivated her to be so candid?
I think she wanted to show that even those who seem to have it all still face their own internal struggles.
Right.
You know, she wanted to break down that facade of perfection
Mm-hmm.
and present a more realistic picture of what it means to be human.
It's a powerful reminder that success doesn't erase our insecurities
No, it does.
or past experiences.
You know, we all carry our own baggage, and it's how we choose to deal with it that shapes who we become.
And speaking of shaping who we become,
Yeah.
Ina also reflects on the aging process
Yeah.
and the importance of finding contentment in each stage of life.
She doesn't shy away from the realities of getting older,
Right.
but she approaches it with this sense of grace and acceptance.
She emphasizes the importance of staying active,
Yeah.
both physically and mentally.
Right.
And she encourages readers to embrace the wisdom and experience that come with age.
It's a refreshing perspective, especially in a culture that often equates youth with beauty and success.
Right.
You know, she's reminding us that there's beauty and value in every stage of life,
Mm-hmm.
and that aging can be a time of growth discovery and renewed purpose.
Absolutely. And throughout all of these challenges and triumphs,
Yeah.
her relationship with Jeffrey remains this constant source of strength and support.
They've weathered so many storms together,
I know.
from long-distance separations to business pressures to personal insecurities.
What's the secret to their enduring bond?
I think it's a combination of mutual respect,
Okay.
shared passions, and a deep understanding of each other's needs.
Uh-huh.
You know, they've built this partnership based on honesty, communication,
Right.
and a willingness to adapt and evolve together.
It's a beautiful testament to the power of love and commitment.
It is.
A reminder that even amidst the chaos of life,
Uh-huh.
a strong relationship can be an anchor,
Yeah.
a source of comfort,
Right.
and unwavering support.
And that's ultimately what makes Ina Garten's story so inspiring.
Right. It's not just about culinary success or a picture-perfect lifestyle.
So,
About the journey, the
yeah.
challenges.
The growth
Yeah,
and the enduring power of human connection.
absolutely. It's a reminder that life is messy and unpredictable, but that's what makes it so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's about embracing the imperfections,
Yeah.
learning from our mistakes,
Right.
and finding joy in those everyday moments.
And it's about being ready when luck happens.
Right.
Because you never know what opportunities might be waiting around the corner.
That's a wonderful note to end on.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Ina Garten's memoir, Be Ready When the Luck Happens.
Yes, thank you.
We hope you've enjoyed this journey through her life, her career, and her culinary philosophy.
It's been a pleasure.
Remember, you just listened to Bookkast, the podcast that brings you bestsellers in minutes.
Bestsellers in minutes.
Now go out there, embrace the unexpected, and make something delicious.